We'll do it live. The old Bill O'Reilly. Wait for my deal to refresh. What's up, Lance Anderson? I don't even know if I'm on yet. I'm waiting for mine to refresh. Go through my ad. Seems darker in here. It is. That's why. What's up, Brian Davis? Someway, Matt, Clint Coe, Brian Davis, Elliot Parrish, TPG. I think I saw him a minute ago. Jeff Bowery was in here a minute ago. Erica Cole. Let's see, I think it's everybody so far. What's up, Perez? Hey, Project Pine Hills, Sam. Got my new table worked out with my last week install. It's the perfect height. Works out pretty good. Place to put my coffee cup. I've made some headway on the garage space, except for right now I've got all my saws just put in here because I'm getting it back out tomorrow. But I did get a lot of, I'm finally able to move around over at least on this half a little bit. What's up, Pie Guy, Sizzle Neck? Yeah, so tomorrow, concrete truck coming at 9:30, I think, to pour the apron for my garage down there. I ended up doing, I was only going to come out just a very little amount, just basically just to get me up into the garage. But I was going to do bags, and I decided, no, matter of fact, I'll be helping pour it, but I went ahead and had my buddy who does concrete for a living. That's what his company is. I told him to just come out here and give me a price for him to do it. And I helped him form it up. I mean, they pretty much did it, but I was just out there helping them with my skid steer, moving gravel and all that kind of stuff like that. But they're going to do it tomorrow. So, but because I'm getting a truck around where I live, they kind of got a 4-yard minimum, or else you have to pay kind of a bigger haul bill. They don't charge you a haul bill as long as you get 4 yards. So basically, instead of building just a small apron, I think I came out from the building 10 foot. So it'd be like 16 foot by 10 foot. Because I got to thinking about it. I'd rather have that because I'm going to move like my bigger table saw. It's not really a big table saw, but it's the bigger of the two I have. It's a job site saw on a stand. But I'm going to move that and some other stuff down there. So whenever I build something, I'm probably going to do it down there. That way I can just roll them outside, and I'll kind of have like a workspace outside for sawdust and all that kind of stuff like that. It seems like people offer a ton of suggestions like Joey knows. Project Pine Hills just talking to Doc about the M18 Surge video. It's good stuff. Yeah, he really likes his M18 Surge, so he may go get one. I personally like it. Like I think it's worth like, especially if I didn't have one. I mean, that's the thing, is if you already got one, do you need it? No. But I mean, it's quite a bit faster in my opinion. Not that you're really buying this tool necessarily to be fast, but that's when I use my M18 more so. Like my M12, I want it to be like more precision and all that kind of stuff whenever I'm using it, because I'm just using it on interior stuff for the most part. But whenever I get this out, it's because I want a bigger battery. Like I'll either run this or I'll run the 5.0. That's pretty much the only two batteries I put in this. And I'm normally doing framing and stuff like that with it. So the speed is actually kind of more important to me on this one than it is on the M12 version. I'm going to be that customer. But I was hoping to get done with the exterior this week. I don't think I'm gonna make it though, unless I work Saturday, possibly. So I got all the sidings done and painted. I got some touch ups to go around, but I'm waiting because I'm sticking my ladder up against it and scooting stuff and all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna have some touch ups. I got the porch ceiling part framed out. I've got to put the ceiling up, and I got my electric ran for my lights. And then today we got all the trim coil type, like all the fascia board, the bird boxes, all that stuff's done. And then I got the front trimmed out at the bottom so that I could flash that and start with the vinyl siding on the gable side to match the house. And I asked GPT how much siding I needed for a 30-foot long by 6-foot tall gable, and it gave me the square footage. So I just was like, well, I'm gonna trust that, and I came up about 3 pieces short. So I'm gonna get that tomorrow and hopefully finish that up. But all I got left is finish that siding, trim the 3 windows, put up a trim board where my siding kind of seamed together in the back, and then the porch ceiling and corners is all I've got left on the exterior, and then the garage door, which is coming like the 31st or something like that. Grass is growing. There's Doc in here now. I like the M18 Surge better than the M12, but the new version is like the Surge on Surge. Yeah, it's significantly faster. Like we were joking back and forth because I told him it's definitely a little quicker, and he's like, it looks like it's more than a little quicker. But I'm always one who I try not to oversell things, because and then it's way better in my opinion. But that's in my opinion. Somebody else could buy this and think, it's not that big a deal, the difference in it, but it's pretty drastic, and it's slightly heavier, but nothing that I don't think anybody's going to notice. Like if I took and put this on a scale, I'm sure it's going to show up heavier than the other Surge, but again, I'm not a person whenever I'm testing stuff. I don't care if something's like a half an ounce or 1 ounce weighs more or whatever, or it's 0.2 seconds faster. It's like, if it's that visibly faster, what I was showing with the old Surge and this one, that's what I'm looking for. If it's not that much difference, I don't care. That's kind of like the new Milwaukee rear handle saw. I didn't buy that because I went into the store and I picked it up, and I'm just like, yeah, is it lighter than the rear handle saw that I have? Yes, but it's not significantly lighter. And I don't see the need to spend the money to get something that's not like drastically better. But this, in my opinion, it's quite a bit better. Not the running endless timber locks on the M12 Surge for a long run time. More concrete equals less weeds. That's right too. It'd be less for me to mow. But it will also help because I'm going to park my enclosed trailer in there all the time, except for whenever I'm getting out to use it. But then I could also pull that out if for some reason I have a big job and somebody wants me to build something that I need to really do here because I got better tools here or whatever. I could always pull the trailer out, park it where I park it now, work on whatever that is for a week, month, whatever it is, and then put it back. But like working on my truck or something like that, I don't know that I'll be able to pull my truck all the way in with the trailer, like have both of those things in there at the same time, but I will for sure be able to pull in like half my truck. So now if I'm like changing spark plugs or something like that, I'll be able to pull my truck up in there and it still be on the concrete outside, that kind of a thing. Project Pine Hills, last best toy. You guys are crippling my wallet. Quaz works hard as a plumber for a management company. Don't do the AI crap and always add 20% or more. I think that's ultimately what I didn't do, was add enough waste, because the calculator, which whenever I looked it up anyways, I don't do vinyl siding enough to, have it in my brain. Again, I try not to do very much exterior work, period. But it was basically width of the building times the height of the center of your gable, and then divide that by 2, which would make sense because you're basically half a square at that point. Like if it's a triangle turned sideways, but if you took 2 triangles and put them together, you'd have a square. But I think I only figured for like 10% waste or something. And if I'd have added about another 10%, I probably would have had enough, because I think I'm really only about 1 piece short, but I'm going to go ahead and get a couple. And what it is, you know, you're cutting off that angle on the gable. So all that square footage, even though it might be a small amount, you know, that adds up to, you know, some of that square footage over the time. So 10% is not enough. I had too much F channel and J channel though, so I'll just get to take those back and trade it for vinyl siding. Thoughts on mod box versus pack out? Have you seen the new drawers from Klein? Amory Bandit. I saw the compact drawer, like the halfway, and then the single one that's full. I saw those at Klein whenever I was there. I haven't seen them in person yet, like in a store, but I saw them in person there at Klein. And I told them then, I was like, these are going to be like really nice. In fact, like to me, the half size ones, because the way I use my truck now, I've got like drawers with bigger tools. Even it don't even have to really be big tools, but if you use only like the dividers going one way and you don't have them like cross braced with the other dividers, tools will sit there and move, like will flex the pack out ones. I've got some aluminum ones that I bought off Etsy, and those work quite a bit better. But like basically, if you bought those half drawers from Klein and just made that like a open drawer for tools, and then you'd have another half drawer beside it, open drawer for tools or whatever else. You no longer have to have those long dividers. You've got walls, so you're not going to have that problem with them like flexing and doing all kinds of stuff like that. So I think those are really, really nice. Like I'd like to get my hands on some. Matter of fact, if I got enough of them, I'd change out at least half the stack of the drawers that are in the half the pack out stack in the back of my truck. I'd probably convert that over to Klein, the single drawer and the compact drawers, just stack those up that way and put stuff like caulking and bigger tools and hand tools in those, and then use my other Milwaukee drawers for the smaller stuff. Because I never take those don't come in and out of my truck. They just stay in there. So it doesn't matter to me if it's mod box or pack out. What's up, Breaking Free? Some way said, I'm getting concrete poured. Everybody loves the new Milwaukee, and we have celebrities in the chat. That's what's going on, Breaking Free. I did hit 35,000 subscribers this last. I don't know if it was this week or end of last week or whatever. I saw that, so appreciate everyone who's subscribed of the 35,000, and those of you who aren't of the 35,000, you suck. No, I'm just kidding. 20% is not enough at times. Yeah, normally 20, like if I'm ordering it and I'm the one doing it, I usually can, because while I'm like, especially like with trim and all that kind of stuff, like I'm constantly, while I'm cutting trim in a house or drywall or whatever it is, like I'm constantly aware of my cutoff pieces and making sure that I'm using those. And like I won't go cut like even if I cut a full board and I've got a longer piece left, and then I know that I'm going to have some pieces that are that long, but my next measurement would cut that board in half. Like I'll set that board off to the side and cut that off a longer board. Like I spend a lot of, it's not really a lot of time. It's just natural to me. So I end up coming out pretty good. I don't have to have like a lot of waste, but sometimes you have to. Like drywall guys always amaze me. Like if you pay a drywall crew, I think it's because they get paid by the board or board foot or whatever it is. I mean, you'll see that dumpster outside with half sheets in it, all kinds of stuff. They run through. Anyone have any suggestions on organizing mod box tool cases? I have pics on Morgan's maintenance community. Please leave comments. Need help, want to display them. Last best tool project, Pine Hills. breaking free, installing cabinets today. The whole time I was wishing I had that third hand. Yeah, you need to get you some. If you install cabinets very often, man, it is even if you got two people, it's just easier. Like you don't have to have somebody sitting there trying to hold something specifically in a spot and all that kind of stuff. It just takes all that out of it. It's like, even if you got two people, it's worth having them. Supposedly Klein is adding a half box with drawers. Oh, okay. So like a ammo style box or something like that with some drawers or something. That'd be kind of neat too. That's dangerous talk making the switch. Amanda doesn't approve of that. Yeah, I won't go out and probably. That was my hint to Klein. If somebody from Klein is watching, if you want to send me a bunch of compact drawers, I'll change out some in the back of my box, in the back of my truck. I didn't get the rolling cart that some people got. I didn't get any of the drawers some people got. I got left out. Elliot remembers when I hit 20K. Roy loves his mod boxes. To be fair, he never owned any pack out. That's the biggest thing for me. It's like I've already got, y'all can't see as much of it, but I know you've seen it in my videos. And, I got all this in here that these are the ones that go back and forth to my truck. And then I got the ones in my truck that stay in my truck all the time. But again, in that situation in the back seat, those never come in and out. So I'm not, if I find a better set of drawers or whatever it is, as long as I can change out that whole side, I'm willing to change those, because I don't necessarily go in there and just click my pack out stuff into that. I mean, I might occasionally right now, but I don't do it. It doesn't have to be that way. Most of the times, whenever I come in here to get a few pack outs out of here for, like, I got a door install one or whatever else, I'm just putting that in the back of my camper topper and just setting it down in there, because I'm not taking very many of them. You'll be getting a YouTube plaque before too long. I don't know. I might be gone before then. Cause I don't know. I don't know how long I've been doing YouTube for to get to the 35K. I want to say I started in 2021 or something like that. I'm not real sure. Don't let it go to my head. It's already going to my waist. LOL's what Someway said. And see, he wonders why I don't read his comments. Here he is calling me fat. Yeah, I have been getting fatter. I do need to lose some weight. I haven't motivated myself to do it yet. One of these days. What's up, Tom? I keep getting a Costco advertisement. I usually trade material for time on the job site. I can offload the material cost on the customer and save them hours. Yeah, in the figuring it out process. The Little Debbie Christmas trees are out. I like those okay. I'm not really I won't say that I don't like the cakes of Little Debbie's, but I don't eat as many of the cakes as I like the cookie type, the cream pies and the Nutty Buddies, Star Crunches. Appreciate that, Michael. I just like the double deckers. I heard you said Miss Maintenance wouldn't let you stop at the Little Debbie shop. No, we were driving through. We went to the Blue Ridge Mountains in Georgia, and then of course, you go through Chattanooga. All right, that's the way we went. I'm sure there's multiple ways you can probably get there, but that's how we went, was through Chattanooga. Which on the way there we didn't stop in Chattanooga, but on our way back we did, because we've been to Chattanooga multiple times, went to Rock City, all that kind of stuff like that. But she was wanting one of them Rock City birdhouses, see Rock City. So we stopped in there. We didn't go in to the Lookout Mountain and Rock City and all that. We just stopped in and got something out of the gift shop to get her that. And they didn't want to stop at the Little Debbie place. Somebody loves his Klein rolling drawer box. Relic 90 update on your new M18 Surge. My Home Depot had the new precision blower, and I've already ran it for 2 6-amp-hour batteries in 2 days. I find myself using it constantly. Yeah, it's a blower tool like that is a really good, thing to have. Like, now that I've had one, which That was my buddy's. I don't own that, the Milwaukee one. He just let me use it. So I've got the Wolf box. This is the newer version of the Wolf box. I've got a video for this coming out Saturday. That's when they wanted me to put that out, was Saturday. So that's going to come out Saturday morning, and then the guess the tray to be Saturday afternoon. But yeah, I use that the same way you're probably using your blower, and I use that all the time. Milwaukee installation driver has a deal. You get that, 2 2.0 batteries and 2 3.0 XCs for $199. That's not bad if you need some batteries. Doc's been doing it for a long time, and he's under 100K. Yeah, the tool category, it's very hard to get like a lot of subscribers, I think, because even the ones that you know that have been on YouTube for a really long time, like they don't have a ton of subscribers. Like, I mean, they might have a lot, but it's still nothing compared to like the people who have millions and all that kind of stuff. It's because I don't read your comments is why you're talking so mean to me. I know it's not made for it, but do you think the new Surge has enough torque to take the lug nuts off your truck? I don't know about that. I'll try it one time. I'll see. My truck's parked pretty far away. If my truck was parked out here, I'd go ahead and put something on it and we'll try it right now. But it's on the other side of my driveway because I parked it over there for the concrete truck to come in tomorrow. And I know if I go out there, I'm gonna lose you. But I doubt it. I would doubt it. Next time she comes in the chat, I'll remind her of the verse that says, "Wives, submit to your husband." It's in Ephesians chapter 5. Yeah, we talk about that quite a bit. That's one we bring up all the time. I think it's Ephesians 5:22, maybe. I think it is. Yeah, we joke about that one. My M12 can do 90 foot-pounds of light truck lugs. I can only imagine. Well, maybe it would then. I've never tried it. Like the M12 stubby, like even the old one. I mean, all day long, take the lug nuts off my truck. Going to have to buy a new M18 drill after 9 years. My gearbox is going out. 9 years, pretty good run though. You've been to Ruby Falls or Lookout Mountain? Loved it when I was a kid. Yeah, we went to both of those, and then I think I mentioned it's a big joke with our whole family. Like I didn't go to Ruby Falls last time. I think I've been to Ruby Falls before. We didn't go last time we were there. We went to Lookout Mountain and then Rock City, and then there was like within Rock City, there's a thing called Fairy Tale Caverns. And, you know, it's pretty comical, like what that is, if you've ever been there. And then the way that we were in there, it was super crowded that day. And all these people were just taking pictures of everything in there like crazy. And I was just like, who even wants I mean, there's no way any of you are ever going to look at a picture of this, like in the big scheme of things. Joey making me busy Saturday morning. Yeah, that's when I told them, I was like, that's when they wanted me to release it. And I was, well, I already got another video coming out that day, so I don't know if that matters or not. But that video comes out on that day at that time every single week, so I'm not changing that. Don't go into the signal danger zone. So you've taken off lug nuts with the M12 Surge, but 90 foot-pound ones. So I think my truck is 150 foot-pounds. I think is what they go on at, if I remember right. Not positive about that, but I think so. I did get something in the mail from Klein today. It wasn't the compact drawers. It wasn't the rolling cart. But I got something. I'm going to give it away tonight. So most of you probably already have one, though. $120 is a F-150 lug nut for $14. Maybe it is 120. I know it was one something. I know it was pretty much maxed out on the torque wrench I've got too, which that's in my other drawer because my torque wrench barely goes up to whatever it is my truck calls for. Briar Crandall, what's up with the holstery rip belt? I've seen them on YouTube and TikTok, but can't find them on a website. So the rip belt, I'm not sure. I haven't looked at that one. They came out with some belts a while back. I don't remember if that's what they were called or not. If it's something new, I haven't seen it yet. They used to have some belts that came out for a little while, but they were kind of like I mean, the kind of belts I wear, the groove belts or whatever. It seemed like it was something along those kind of lines, but maybe not the same mechanism for latching. But did find out my Home Depot account temporarily suspended. They marked me as a reseller because I did the hack too many times. I had heard of people like getting their accounts shut down. I don't think mine is. I bought some stuff here lately, so I'm assuming not. But I haven't done the hack in a long time because here, which I haven't bought a lot of actual Milwaukee power tools in the last several years, anyways. Whenever but that was kind of before I started YouTube. That's why I converted over to Milwaukee. Whenever I changed over, I mean, I was going in there all the time and getting on. I bet I returned the 3/8 ratchet probably 15 times. I don't know. Every single tool I bought, I was getting for really good deals. But I haven't done it in a long time because here lately, what I've done is I've either just kept the batteries or I've put the batteries on Facebook Marketplace instead of returning them. And then, or the tool, if I wanted batteries for basically about the same price that I was going to get it returned for. And then pretty much most of the time I've sold it on Facebook for that. So that's what I've started doing. Most half and torque wrenches are 0 to 150 and then 30 to 250. Yeah, I think mine only goes up to 150. All I've got's like the Pittsburgh one, like for the Harbor Freight. I haven't bought any expensive torque wrenches because again, I don't normally do that kind of stuff. I typically only do it for myself. If it was one of those where I was doing something for a customer and I wanted to make sure I'd have like digital ones and all that kind of stuff, but I don't do that kind of stuff that much. You should do a giveaway for your track saw. I haven't used it a lot in the last couple of years, but I've used it a lot on this garage. I'm glad I had it. It's made life a lot easier. Have I seen the Milwaukee deal at Home Depot expires today? The deal of the day. No, I don't know if y'all's like on my phone going to the deal of the day today. It just kept refresh. Like they had some kind of thing going on. Like every time you go to it, like it was constantly refreshing where I couldn't ever search anything. So I had to get on the computer and go to the deal of the day and scroll the deals. Like the phone was messing up on the app. The only thing that I was looking at on the deal of the day is the Milwaukee 10-inch miter saw. It comes with a stand and an 8.0 battery, I think, for $6.99. Uh, my buddy's been wanting one of those, and I was going to buy it for him for helping me on my building and doing all the extra work that he's been doing on it. But I told him, I said, I'm only asking you because I'm not going to buy it. And because he originally needed a new 10-inch saw, but then I think he worked on his and got a part or something that's working. So I didn't know if he'd rather have something else. Is the only reason why I even asked him. I was just going to buy it, but they've been putting that deal on for a while. So I just told him to think about it. 150 foot-pounds for the F-150. Pack out, buy more, save more begins 11/3. Last year when we had the pack out glitch. Yeah, I didn't end up getting any of mine. They ended up canceling all mine, but have you tried the Knipex soft jaw pliers? I think SOF jaw pliers. Maybe the T's not there. That's Don Shop or Don's Chop. I think I know which ones you're talking about. They already got kind of like teeth built into them. I've just got the teeth that I put on my code or the grips that I put on my Cobras and pliers wrench. I haven't bought the pair that's like already got the, which those are replaceable on that pair too as well, but they're kind of built into the head of it. I haven't had a pair of those. They really want me to do Costco. I keep getting ads. I think deals of the day are going to be lame until Black Friday sales start. Hey, buddy, 7605. I'm not trying to advertise, but if any of us in here need this deal, I'm glad to pass information. Oh, you're good. If you know where any kind of deal or anything, have at telling everybody. I got quite a few things in the mail from different places, this smaller stuff that I think I'm going. None of them specifically said like they wanted a dedicated video or anything like that. So I'll just be up front with y'all. This is the same stuff I send to anybody who asks me if they will send me, if they can send me something. I say, you can send me something. I don't charge a fee for any video as long as I'm getting the item for free, but I don't sign up for the affiliate program through you or whatever else. I said, I am an Amazon affiliate. If I can put an Amazon affiliate link in there, then that's, great. If not, no big deal. But I always tell them I do dedicated videos, then I do tool haul videos. And I said, basically, I will put yours maybe in a tool haul if I have a bunch of things at one time, or if you specifically want a dedicated video, you can let me know. And if I can work that in, I will. But all these people didn't say anything about wanting a dedicated video. So I think I'm going to make like a tool haul video of, items sent to me by companies type thing. None of them are really like big things or anything like that, just small little stuff. I'm pretty picky on what I let people send me though. Like I turned down almost nearly probably 75% of stuff. Bought them for an aerator and shower head necks. They're way too soft and don't grip worth anything. Yeah. Yeah. Even the Cobras with the grips on or the pliers wrench with the grips on, sometimes it's still hard to get enough oomph on stuff if it's on there super hard, like an aerator should come off fairly easy, but again, depends on how the person before you put it on there. I have found a lot of times with plumbing stuff, I think some people put on stuff way too tight. And I mean, obviously you don't want it to leak, so that's why. But sometimes people really hammer down on stuff when they put stuff on that doesn't have to be. JTX Tools, what's your favorite micro bit ratchet? I need one and planning to buy one soon. The one I use the most is still the Icon, the Flex, the one that came in the kit originally. It's the same one, I guess, that's in the new one. I haven't bought the new one. That's the one I use the most. Other than that, probably the Klein one with the little thumb hole. I don't know if I got one, or you could get the Milwaukee one, but I actually prefer the Klein. I like the little hole in the Klein better than the carabiner being on the Milwaukee one, just because I actually use that. Uh, it's nice to be able to clip it on your bag with the Milwaukee one, but I actually use the actual hole in the Klein one quite a bit. So I end up using that one quite a bit. Send me some fun Marvel Kleins. Yeah, I haven't got any of them either. Not the same as the new Icon, so it's different. Little sad. Zenith Purser. I'm a little sad that they didn't put a top flap on the SBLD Blackout. Yeah, I'm hoping maybe they'll come out with the bags that's kind of SBLD-ish with a flap on it. Would be nice. If they kind of made, like, to me, a nice bag would be, I don't know if my SBLD is easy to get to. I'm trying to think of what I even did with it. I think it's back there, I guess. So if you could take a, or should I hold out in case somebody offers me big money to give them my secret on a bag? Yeah, here we go. That's wedged in there pretty good. So like this size bag, the SBLD, the size bag is, I like it. Like this is the size bag I like. So like to me, although I don't, maybe, I don't know, because I don't know if I'd want to lose. Like if you could have this on the back still, have this with the flap that came all the way down, it wouldn't even hurt my feelings if they got rid of this and just made it another row of tools. But then if you could over here on the side, put like the meter pouches, although it's a short bag though, so I don't know, that might not work. You might not be able to fit a lot in there. So maybe just make it one pocket over here that you could stick a meter in. That way you didn't necessarily, even though you can put it back here. So it all would depend on how somebody wanted to use it. But like I would like to have this bag with a flap on it. And then ultimately, if you could somehow, if you took the meter pouch like all the way to up here to down there though, that'd be pretty good size. That'd be about the same as probably what's on my MCTP. Then you're getting into probably like the TPXXL category though. That's kind of what that is without the thing on the back. Put them in the weeds. $7-Eleven has some really nice bit ratchets. Anyone in the chat know of a good battery powered floor sweeper? Getting too old to sweep my 2 garage floors with a push broom. I always open my garage door and just take my leaf blower and go to town, but I don't know about a floor sweeper. Joey, I'm starting to think of you like a father, even though I'm older. Just remember that when making out your will, you should be doing considering your new diet, which I should be doing considering my new diet. And now breaking free's getting in on it some way. You open the floodgates. L711L and LeBaire. The LeBaire tools, I don't remember if maybe it was you some way, but somebody may also, I think, commented about a LeBaire. I never had heard of them before, but I started searching LeBaire tools for some reason in the last month or so because somebody suggested something. And they got quite a few things that were pretty interesting. Is the SBLD or MCT blackout better for an apprentice helper? You would say the MCT blackout for an all-around bag, like to carry pretty much, in my opinion, everything that you would need, is a very good bag. The SBLD actually carried quite a bit more than I expected it to, but it's because it's got all those side pockets. So you can actually fit quite a bit of tools in the SBLD, and then you got that back section. It's always hard to tell. Like it just would depend on what was required by that apprentice. Like if he's carrying power tools and stuff like that, I would think you'd probably want an MCT just because you got a little bit more room. But Joey isn't your dad or a life coach, no matter how much you try. Always start out as an MCT, go from there. It's probably my, like I've said it before many times, the MCT in whatever version you get it, MCTP, blackout MCT. Now I would recommend the blackout MCT or newer, just based on getting those extra pouches like in the flaps. Because the original MCT doesn't come with any of that. So it's nice to have these right here. The original one doesn't have any of this. And that's pretty handy to have 2 zipper spots to be able to put stuff like electrical tape and whatever. Now you can't just cram them full of things though, and then also have your tools full, or else this ends up, bulging out. But well worth it to get the blackout or newer, in my opinion. But the original MCT also is a little bit lighter, and you can't put as much stuff in it because you don't have those, which makes it a little bit lighter as well. Some way thinks of me as a wayward nephew. Seen the new John Deere truck coming out, starts at $15,000. No, I haven't seen that either. The heated peanut butter cream pie and ice cream suggestion is going to cause my diabetes. Thanks, Joey. Yeah, that's amazing. I only carry an M12 impact, really, MP1X kitted out meter, some bits, etc. So if you're only carrying an MP or a M12, you can easily clip that on the side of like the SBLD, like even just clip it or do whatever. Well, I say that because I got a Noster on mine, but you can probably still use the belt clip and do the same thing. Diabetes. Are you using your little Ted Cook setup? Yeah, I've got that in my truck I'm grabbing that the last 2 small jobs that I've went to go just look at something. That's what I grabbed out of my bag or out of my truck. Dr. Pepper with vanilla ice cream is for guys like Apache. Learning with Juan. M12 battery down on the side pockets. Yeah, I think that fits in that too. Like, so you can take I was using a drill bit earlier. Yeah, you can take like a M12 surge on this side and go like that on an SBLD. Or, like I said, I've got the Noster, so I can clip mine on even up here, if I want to with that, and it won't come off. That obviously blocks some of your tool space if that's what you do. But an M12 drill will also fit in the back if you're not carrying like a meter and stuff like that too. Dr. Pepper with chocolate ice cream. I don't like probably either one of those. I don't like chocolate ice cream at all. Like it's always got like a weird flavor to me. Milwaukee's for men. Flex is for twice the man. We always call it Dr. Pimper. Yeah, there was of course, whenever I was a kid, we didn't get the name brand Coke, so I think it was Dr. Thunder. And there was also another one. I know there was a Dr. Thunder. I think that was maybe the Walmart brand, like Sam's Choice was called Dr. Thunder. But there was another version of it that had a name, and I can't think of what that one is. Dr. Pepper prune juice equals prune juice. I've heard that. I've also heard some people say it tastes like Pepto-Bismol. Mr. Pibb. Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I was thinking of. TPG, Mr. Pibb. It was Mountain Thunder. Now there was a Mountain Thunder that was like Mountain Dew, but then there was also a Dr. Thunder that was like Dr. Pepper. Don Shop or Don's Chop. Again, I don't know where the end of the name is on that, but it's Remember Jolt. I don't think I ever drunk that. I've heard a lot about it here lately just because I've seen it in either YouTube videos of like people talking about it being back in the day, or I was watching movies that were kind of in that time frame and they were talking about it, but I don't remember ever having it. L8 soda. Yeah, I've had L8 soda. In fact, I still like occasionally the Meyer here has some of those like cherry L8s, and then they got the original or whatever. And occasionally I get like one of those cherry ones. Jolt has all the sugar and twice the caffeine. Yeah, that's mostly learning with Juan said coffee is for men. That is for men that like flex. I drink coffee all the time. That's pretty much my number one drink. What's up, Robert Zellman? So we're going to get out the Klein cards. Need to go to all messages. Drinking 2 to 3 C4s a day. I've drunk a few C4s. I haven't drunk as many of those flavors as I have Monsters, but I have had some C4s. They're pretty good. I don't drink as many of those lately as I used to either. Once it gets to this weather, it's finally starting to cool off. I pretty much switch to 100%. I drink either coffee or water. Then I will have Cokes and stuff every now and then, like if we're at a restaurant or something. And then if I'm sitting around the house, but most of the time I drink coffee during this time of year once it starts getting cold. I'm gonna make sure these aren't somewhere to order. So I've got it on all messages. So what card am I holding in my hand? We'll see who gets to this first. This is only part one of the win something. So the first one that guesses this card gets a chance. Six of hearts, nines of hearts. This might take too long. I'll come up with something else if nobody gets it in the next little bit. Queen of hearts, Joker, ace of hearts, seven of spades, nine of spades, two of clubs. So after nobody gets it in a little while, I'll give you the suit, and then you can guess if nobody gets it in the next little bit. Oh, I gotta add again. Eight of diamonds, jack of diamonds. So it is a club. I'll just tell you that it is a club. Six of clubs, king of spades, joker, number three hearts, two of clubs, four of clubs, nine of hearts, two of clubs, seven club, two of club, 10 of clubs, nine of clubs. Nine of clubs, breaking free was the first one to get it. Apache guessed it right below him. Again, I'm on all messages. If you're in top messages, you might think that you were before somebody else. So breaking free, nine of clubs. Apache almost got you. He's right below you. So we'll let the guesses come out so I know that we're past that point. I'll make sure I got them shuffled. So breaking free, now we've got to, I'm going to pull a card out here, which is whatever this is. I'm going to throw that out because that won't work. I meant to take those jokers out. It's like cheating. That's an automatic guess, and those were probably right on the top anyway. So there's the other joker. So breaking free, we're going to have whatever this is. Ooh, that's pretty hard. 10 of clubs. That's the card to beat. High or low? 10 of clubs. All right, is this card right here on the top higher or lower than the 10 of clubs? You said low. Nope, Jack of clubs. That's high. Almost. So now we're going to go back to, I got the jokers out. All right, so now we've got another card. It is a spade. So what is this card? We'll see who gets the chance next. And if you haven't free, if you like breaking free, you can still be in this because you didn't win. So this is a spade. Two a spade. BMCK SS3ZB. Two a spade. He's the first one I see. So he's got the two of spades showing up. So now we're gonna go. So this is for BMCK. We've got now what are we? No matter how you look at it, I guess. What are we going to call the ace? We're going to call it the highest card. So you should be winning this. So what do you want to do? High or low on the ace of spade? I guess you could have another ace in here. So BM. He said low. Oh, how's that work out? Is that equal? What are the odds of that? So I would assume that means that it's like a tie and there's no win on that one. What are the odds of that? Repick. I don't know how that works. Anybody play high and low enough? What's it do if you hit the same exact card? Spades outranks hearts. So it'd still be, that would mean this would be low then, I guess. I'm gonna give it to you. We're gonna call that a win. Because even if it's a tie and I was to say, what are you gonna do again? You're gonna say low, and boom, two of hearts. So we're gonna call that a win. So BMCK, Klein sent me this out today. I got it in the mail, and I don't need it. So shoot me your address, and then I'll have you comment on some video of mine. I may have sent you something before. It sounds familiar to me, but so I'm gonna send you blackout 11 and 1's what you're gonna get. So email me, and then I'll give you a word to go comment on some video of mine somewhere so that I know that it's from you. So I might do this on my giveaways instead of doing. I'll probably mix in some questions. Maybe it'll be a mix of questions and then play this game. I don't know. It was just something I thought about doing with these cards whenever I got them. Because that, at least, even though I know sometimes there's like lag for certain people. So sometimes whenever I do the questions and just the questions, like sometimes some people, it's on a lag for them. So they really have zero chance of like being the first one if it's an answer that most people are going to know type thing. So that at least makes it to where there's a little bit to be able to get into it anyways. Patchy just got 3 of those at Lowe's today. Breaking free said that's why I don't go to Vegas. Yeah, I thought for sure like a 10's kind of in the mix of being like not, but it's not really a middle card. I mean, I would have said low myself. I think I put those. Yeah, I put the jokers back in there. Still don't see them on the floor at my store. Yeah, Milo's hasn't had them out yet either. So I ordered one and sent it like delivery to my house or delivery to job sites. What I'm actually picking on Lowe's, because if anytime I ordered it and did like pick up at store, they'd just cancel it. So I did that and shipped the one to my house, and then Clint Co. or the Tool Collector, whichever one you want to look at there, he sent me one as well. So I ended up with two of them. So whenever I got this in the mail, I was like, I don't really need that. So I'm going to give that away tonight. It is nice it's a nice screwdriver though. I just don't need it. And I appreciate Klein you sending it to me. Email address, it's in the bottom of any, in case you don't get it here, but it's in any of my Guess the Trade videos. Like it'll be in that because that's where I tell people to send pictures, but it's JMORG19804, I think, at Gmail. I want to win a Morgan's Maintenance hat. Yeah, so I could say I kept the Klein one, and then this is the one that Clint Co. sent me. So thank Clint Co. for that too. So either way, thank Clint Co. and thank Klein. TPG has seen the 11-1 and the knife at his Lowe's. I never win anything unless it's something useless, Tom says. And the Apache said the knives were at the gift center area by the barbecue. So whenever it kept saying that the knives were out at my store, I got a fly driving me crazy in here. I'm going to finish this real fast. It kept saying the knives were out at my store, like they had so many in stock, but it kept saying they were in the paint aisle. So I went all the way up and down the paint aisle because they do have some knives in that section, like utility knives, scrapers, that kind of stuff. Went back there, didn't see any, but that's what aisle, like that's where it actually said that they were. So I went to the paint counter, asked the guy at Lowe's, I'm like, I doubt these are over here. I said, but it says that they are, so that's why I'm asking you. And he's like, no, I haven't seen those. You'd have to probably go look in the tool section. I'm like, yeah, I already looked in the tool section. They're not over there. So, but that's as far as he wanted to go with it. He didn't say, well, let me see if I can find them for you. No. Robert Zellman just got one 2 days ago. Nice screwdriver. The set out date is 10/20. So be on the lookout. That's what Apache said. Matt said the knives and the 11-1s are in the tool section promo center aisle. Mine still has all the last Klein deals that were kind of out. I'm trying to think of what they were. They were still all out there last time I was in there. Now I haven't been in there. Maybe I went Monday. I think I went Monday. That's the last day I was at Lowe's, was Monday. Tom said I need to look at those screwdrivers. I absolutely hate the Milwaukee one. The bits fall out all the time. The 11-1 from Klein has been about the only 11-1s I've ever ran. I like them all pretty well. The Impact 11-1 is probably the one I use the most now. I hope they come out with the Impact 11-1 that's like a blackout version or something like that. But I use it more than I do the rest of them. And I don't even really use them in my Impact. I just like the way it's set up better. Like I don't use it for the purpose of, I can take these out and put them in my Impact. I just kind of I like it, I guess, because I can I can take out even part of the Klein parts and put my own bit holders and stuff like that in it. I think that's why I like the Impact 11-1 the most. Breaking Free bought a 16-inch Klein tape measure with numbers on both sides. Love it. Can actually see the numbers. I haven't tried a Klein tape measure yet. Do I like Curry? I've only had it a few times. It's okay. There's actually a place in my town that's I think it's called Indian Oven or something like that everybody loves. Like they've got like even a buffet for lunch and stuff, and people go there all the time and get it. But man, it is so stout, like the smell whenever I go in, that I can't hardly stay in there. The food was good, but it's just so, maybe I was sitting too close to something or what. Like Don Mendenhall bought 2 of the Klein Mod Box with the 2-drawer rolling chest and adapted pack out to the top so pack out boxes will work. Yeah, that's a nice outfit if you can like do it. That's how I've got in the back of my truck. I've got that single drawer with the pack out thing on the top, and then I've got my pack out vacuum and then my drywall tools stacked on top of that. Somebody said my annex doesn't drop bits and it ratchets. If I cared about a ratcheting screwdriver some way, I would be more inclined to buy the annex screwdriver. Tyrone said Tech made easy. Yeah, he put out some videos on the Klein. I really want the Knipex Forge wire strippers, but $59 seems high. Breaking Free said they're usually on Woot. You can find them on Woot every now and then for like in the 40s. But I love and I've had mine for I'd have to go back and see when I posted the video, but I probably had them for even like 6 months before the video, and I've used them like crazy, and they still are just like they're brand new. So you got to factor in, are they $60? Yes, but how many pairs of other ones do you go through before the cutters are dull and all that kind of stuff? Now, if you've got some other ones that last for a long time, then Tom lost a huge job today that we thought we had, backstabbed by a local competitor. I've got a job starting Monday, doors and windows and stuff. And then I've got another job that I bid that they contacted me today and want me to change some stuff. So I got to do that and rebid that. But I haven't been super hot and heavy on trying to get too many jobs in the last little bit because I've been working on my garage in between the jobs that I have to do. But yeah, it always stinks when you think you've got something and then you pay, because you almost have to, like, especially like in my situation where I don't have anybody else to go do work for me if I get a ton of it type thing. So I've got to be a little bit careful about whenever I'm bidding things. Like if I've got like 5 bids out there, it almost makes me like I can't even really bid anything else. But then what if I don't get those 5? But again, that's why I try to make it to where all my customers typically just primarily use me or my buddy. Uh, and they want us because of who we are. So there's really not a lot of bidding a lot of times for the jobs. We're just giving somebody a price sometimes, and then they're still going to like they're not even getting a price from somebody else. And that's how I like it, more so because I work by myself and I don't want to have like 30 bids out there and then you get all 30 of them at one time. That's how it always goes, and you ain't got enough time to do them all anyways. One of these days, you guys are going to talk me into that annex. Michael said that's him. But y'all probably think you're going to talk me into it too. I'm kind of not buying it out of spite now at this point. Don said, I wish I could post a pic of it. If you go to the community page now, will let you post pictures on my, you can go to Morgan's Maintenance Community, and now like you can make posts and stuff of deals, which I'm really bad about not checking that. I don't get notifications of any of that. So if you guys make posts and do things like that on the community page and I don't respond for 2 or 3 days, it's because I have to get in the mindset of, oh, I better go check the community page. Because there for a while, it was only my post. So I never did think about even going and checking it. But now you guys can post on it, and I have to remind myself. I wish they'd give me a notification just saying so and so posts on the community. You'd think they'd do that, but just in case somebody posts something that you don't really want somebody posting or something, but they don't. One of these days, the annex ratcheting screwdriver is going to be in my mailbox. Doc's got a good video on the half box. Yeah, I watched. I don't know if I watched one where he was outside going around like his stack and stuff. I don't know if he's made anything else since that, but I watched that one. Joey's so sick about hearing about the annex. Well, it's because I get it. I'm a ball handle screwdriver. It's very, matter of fact, all the new screwdrivers I've tried, it's like I like them. There's nothing that I don't like about different Klein screwdrivers I've got. Some other like PB Swiss. I like PB Swiss screwdrivers, but it's like you're just going to be hard pressed for me to take those vessel ball grips out of my pouch. Like any of the other ones will go in my tool bags. I'll use a Klein 11-in-1 in my SPMC just because it's less room and all that kind of stuff. But in my pouch, it's going to, like, I haven't found anything yet that's going to take away from my dedicated screwdrivers, my Phillips and slotted vessel tang throughs. That's where it's at for me. Breaking Free, never bought anything on Woot. Going to check that out. So basically, they got different stuff all the time. So like every now and then they'll have DeWalt tools. Every now and then they'll have Milwaukee. Every now and then they'll have Knipex, Vera, and sometimes they have none of that. So it's just hit or miss. I've got the app and I just open it up because they've got deals of the day and stuff on there as well. What's up, Backwoods? Still the main stripper in my bags. I don't much care for stamped. I have got some flies that got, man, that white vinyl siding or white PVC trim, flies love that stuff. Like, I mean, there's a time of year where the flies are just like, I don't know if they're about to go into some kind of dormant stage or whatever. And that's maybe the brightest thing that they can find. But I've been putting the white PVC trim up, and then I was putting white vinyl siding up today, and the flies just came like gangbusters. They love it. So now I've got my PVC trim in here that I haven't put up yet behind you guys. And so I guess I've had some in here and they're all over the place. Do you got a bid on Woot? No, it's just it's some form of Amazon. It's like it's actually owned by Amazon or something along that lines. Because even if you've got Prime, Amazon Prime, I think you still get the free shipping and all that kind of stuff on Woot, like what you normally get with Amazon. But it's basically like buying, I don't know if it's closeouts on Amazon. I wouldn't really say that because some of the stuff that's on there you can still buy on Amazon, but it's something along those lines. Some ways tempted to send me one, but I've got that, he's got that YouTube money, so no. What Knipex Cobra do you use the most? Tyrone asked. It's the 180 is the one that I use the most as far as size wise. I very rarely even use a 10-inch one. I use a 10-inch. I use the smart grip ones if I'm going to use them most of the time, but it's pretty rare. I keep some 10-inch ones in my truck. I don't keep them in my bags. That way, if I need them, because sometimes like a Delta cartridge or something like that, it's kind of hard. You're maxed out with a 180 and you can't really get good leverage, and it's really easy with a 10. So I keep some 10s in my truck. Vera calendar came today. Vessel ball grips are the best, hands down. I agree. Apache said, yeah, I haven't found it yet. And then that's the same way with the Vessel electric, little electric screwdriver. I mean, I've tried a lot of them and I don't mind the other ones, but I haven't found one yet that's going to replace my Vessel ones because they feel just like using a Vessel screwdriver. Is Morgan's Maintenance Community on YouTube? Yeah, it's on my, so I get to it by, you go to my channel and then there'll be like a community tab. If you click on that, there's posts on there. So it's the same place where like if I post a deal that I find for a deal of the day on like Lowe's or something, you'll see those posts. Well, used to, I was the only one who could post on that, but now they've made it to where subscribers and stuff can post on there too. And like the pictures are hit and miss. Like some people have told me, like I know Matt and Clint both have tried posting pictures sometimes they don't let you. And again, if your post doesn't go through, it's never me. Same thing with your comment. If your comment doesn't go through, it's never me that says, no, I want to delete this or whatever. I allow all comments on every video. I allow whatever. But YouTube still has some rules. So sometimes if you put links to stuff, or I don't know what the deal is, why sometimes they let people put pictures, sometimes they don't, but they've got some reason behind it, I guess. So it's hit or miss with the pictures, but you can try posting them and see how that goes. Purple ceramic ball vessels aren't leaving my bag. Joey, off topic, but have you seen The Chosen? Yeah, very good show. I like it. If you were an old timer smoking and working, the flies would avoid you. That's what you have the wife unit for. Have her putting it up. Change your shorts, no flies. Maybe. That might be the case today. I haven't taken a shower yet. I've been outside sweating all day. We would watch insights from Miss Maintenance. Yeah, so I've got a couple videos that I told her would be good for us to do together. So like I've got enough memes to do a couple more of those videos if we could do those. But I got another one that I thought was kind of that we saw some things while I was on our trip in Blue Ridge, and I bought some of them, and then but it would be a very good like talking back and forth thing, and to get your all's input on if you have some other ones that you might know type thing. Klein ball grip is nice. Yeah, I carry that in that SC45. It's one of the few ball handles that I've used that I like. I still prefer the Vessel tang throughs just because of the weight. But as far as a bit holder, I like the Klein ball handle, the way it holds bits better than the gray ball handle like from Vessel that you just put the bits into, because it doesn't really lock in, but it still holds them pretty well. But I do like the Klein's locking mechanism better than just sticking something in the Vessel. Pics posted on the community. Some way said, as much as it pains me to say it, my Vessel USB is just too short of grunt for when I want to use it. Very sad. Mine does pretty good for the stuff I use it on. Works 4-volt or DeWalt 8-volt gyro. I like the DeWalt 8-volt gyro. I don't see the community tab on the channel page. So on my phone, let me see what it looks like. I don't know if I can even get to it from. I've got YouTube open on here. I don't know what it would. I don't know how to get to it on that, but it's very hard to get to. Actually, I'm like in the app. You have to go to my channel page. It's not under like you have to go to like my channel page. So it's probably going to be like if you click on go to channel, underneath of that, it's going to be like videos, shorts, something else, and then communities over there on the far right. Terry Burton said, last best tool in Project Pine Hills recently did reviews of the 6-inch Klein side cutters. I've owned a pair for 25 plus years. Can't find them anywhere. I didn't know Klein stopped making them. I haven't worked on the, I've still got those Klein linemen in here. I haven't worked on them any. I've been too busy. I'm going to actually wait until I have time to really work on them than to do it halfway and then do it halfway again. So I still have those that I picked up at the thrift store to clean up. But I haven't done anything with those yet. Only downside to the Klein ball handle is I can't put a loop like in my Diamondback pouches. It drops the bit. Yeah, I haven't carried mine in a MP pouch yet because I always just keep my vessels. So my MP2X has a dedicated tang through Phillips 2, dedicated slotted tang through, and then I usually keep a vessel USB in it, and then I put a DeWalt bit holder in that, and then that way I can change that out to any bit I want to if I'm running whatever. And then I also have that powered screwdriver. I can, because sometimes I'll still put a Phillips or slotted bit in that, even though I've got those screwdrivers, and use that for like fixture screws or whatever it is, door handle screws. Yeah, I don't know about the DeWalt gyro. I guess they quit making it. Tom said on my iPad the community doesn't show up, but on my phone it does. I'm curious. I don't know what it'll do if I let me see if I can get out of this chat and go into the YouTube app. So I might lose your chat here in a minute. And again, mine might be totally different than yours because of the fact of this is my channel and all that kind of stuff. So on the iPad, I think it's, let me get over here to where I can see what y'all are seeing. So I'm going to go down here, but see, this is the U thing. So, but if I go to Morgan's maintenance channel, and then I think if you hit view channel, let's see what it does. Yeah. So normally it's in this right here on my phone where it says home, video, shorts, live, playlist, post, store. Normally there's a thing that says community on my phone. I'm gonna see what post is. So here's post. This is kind of the stuff that would be in the community. Let me see if I see, but see, this is all just my post. So I'm not seeing the one that was just up there. So maybe you can't do it from your iPad, but that's how you get to it from your phone is you go to my channel, and then where it says home, videos, shorts, all that, there's a little thing over here that says community on the phone. What's up, Quaz? Keys. Some way says it's not on the computer. I won't do it on phone. Now I think I can get to the community on my, I think I've gotten to it on my, well, I don't know. I think I've only done it on my phone. So I don't know about anywhere else. Might need to try default view if you've adjusted how the tube shows up on your iPad. Yeah, I haven't. I don't think I've ever even got on YouTube on my iPad other than this live feed. This is the only time I even bring this out here. I do all my video editing. I record it on my phone, airdrop it to my iPad, and just because it's a little bit bigger for my finger adjustment to change stuff. So basically, I edit videos on my iPad, and then I do this live on my iPad. That's the only two things I even use it for. And then sometimes like I teach classes and stuff and I use it to save paper from printing for my notes and all that. But so I haven't adjusted the view on my iPad if there's different ways to look at stuff. Yeah, Tyrone, you should be able. Like I said, the post the pictures, mixed results from people. Some people get very irritated with it because it's kind of hit or miss. Just depends on what YouTube allows. But again, if you make a post and it ends up not like being public or whatever, it's not me that deleted it. It's YouTube. Did Morgan start a YouTube community or something? No, it's just a community page. And I think there is a there might not be now. Whenever they first rolled it out, I think you had to have X amount of subscribers, maybe even to have the community thing. I think that's what it is, maybe. Like to even be able to do posts and stuff like that. I think you have to have a certain number of subscribers. I'm not sure what it is. Terry Burton replaced his garbage disposal today. Bought a third horsepower by mistake. I didn't want to go back, so I put it in. I hope it'll be okay. I had a half horse. The worst part is the post will show up for you, but without someone commenting, you won't know if it's up or not. Yeah, like I said, I hate that I don't, because sometimes I like Lexi posted one the other day, and like it was like 7 days ago whenever I first saw it. And I'm like, I wish that they'd give me a notification that somebody posted on the community page, because it's very like it didn't just come up. Like I said, I've got to go through that whole process just to go check to see if somebody's posted something. It'd be nice if they gave me a notification. Maybe one day they will do such a thing. And again, I'm very bad about going and checking it because used to the only thing that was on it was my own post, so I didn't need to go check it. Because now if I make a post on there and you guys comment on it, I get notifications for that, but I don't get any kind of notifications for someone else makes a post type thing. Matt said if you're into or want to try Discord, that's unrestricted. So there's several people in a Discord that I think Clint's got the hook up on that, or the tool collector. I'm in there, but I'm not really in there because it's very rare that I get a chance to go in there. They Everybody posts so much stuff in there that I can't keep up with that. Yeah, Clint can send out invites. So if you want me to see something, you got to specifically figure out a way to make it to where it's known that I go check it, because between YouTube comments, working, group text thing, and all that kind of stuff, it's I haven't made it into the Discord realm yet. I get on there and check the general. Like there's in Discord, they've got stuff set up for general, like tool loadouts, EDC, all kinds of like little subcategories, and I can't hardly keep up with it. That's what I was joking with them the other day, because I don't know if Clint, did you, like Clint's got an Instagram and he started making videos or reels or whatever they are for Instagram, and it was sending them, and I was looking at them, and then I was like, man, y'all are getting on Instagram, you're on Discord, you got group text thing going, you got YouTube comments. I said, you guys are turning, y'all gonna be calling me grandpa before too long because y'all got way too much stuff going on. How's the Surge doing so far? I like it, like personally. I think it's pretty nice. I mean, you get the 3 lights. I like that lighting pattern a lot better than the other one. I haven't really used that so much, but I've used it on other impacts and stuff to know that I like that better than the original one. I haven't used it specifically on this one, but I know that I'm going to like that better. But definitely way more speed and power type thing. And it is slimmer, but it's also fatter. But that doesn't bother me. Like I never I never hardly run into anything where I can't fit whatever I want to this way. It's this with a screw and whatever else. So the fact that it's a little bit stubbier, I kind of like that. No Insta talk for me, thanks. In YouTube, you have to be a moderator to post a link in most of the chats. How is the trigger finesse? Can it go real slow on mode 1? Not like super slow, so speed 1. I'll try to get it to the smallest amount I can get it. Come on, baby. That right there versus full speed. Versus the M12. Probably not a huge difference. Of course, you don't have any kind of screw there kind of giving you tension against it or anything on either one of them. Milwaukee Impact of the Future will look like a coffee saucer. How the heck you search on Woot? They don't have a search. That's the one thing that stinks about Woot. I only get on there. I get on the app and see what the deals are, like on the front page. But there's actually not a ton of stuff. So like you can go down there and search through the tools and hardware, like go to tools, then you can kind of break it down by power tools and hand tools. But it doesn't let you like search Kinetics or Milwaukee or anything like that. Kind of silly in my opinion, but is that so shower trim plate screw are a foot long and can take hours for billable purposes? Might have to get me one of them hanging fly glue traps. I got 2 of them going to town over here. We were at a restaurant at the Blue Ridge in Georgia. It was called Southern Charm or something like that, which is pretty good. But man, there was flies inside of there. Of course, their doors are just opening and closing all day long with people. There were so many flies in there, like they were all over everybody, driving people crazy. Put Knipex Woot on Google, and there you go. Let's see. Football game tonight. I can't even remember who it is. Is it the Steelers and the Packers? Something like that, maybe. The only reason why I'm saying that's because I saw the thumbnail of Rich Eisen show that said, is Rodgers really telling the truth that it's not a revenge game or something like that? Chargers Vikings. So that's the only reason why that was in my brain. Chargers Vikings. Chargers started off hot. They've kind of slowed down a little bit. Sports ball. Breaking Free said, thank you, Juan. That worked. Search and Woot and then the tool brand. So that's good to know. Like I said, I generally just get on that front page and look and see if I see Vera, Knipex, Milwaukee, whatever it is I'm looking for. So Saturday's guest the trade is Alex. He's got a Knipex like suitcase that I didn't even know was a thing, but it's still available. Like I saw it on KC Tool or something like that. I think it was about 200 bucks. Now the one that's on KC Tool isn't like his is an older version, I think, of that one, but they look pretty similar as far as what I saw on the inside. And then, like I said, the Wolf Box new blower video will be on Saturday morning. David Betancourt said, "We dem boys, go Cowboys." They've been a lot better this year than people expected too. Every time someone mentions one of the fly glue tapes, I think of the old 12,000 chicken house Dad had. Those were hanging everywhere in the front room. Yeah, I've been at some places like some old country stores and stuff like that that have them, and they're just covered in them because they've been up there for so long. Like every Knipex tool on Woot sold out. Yeah, every now and then they'll have I think the forged wire strippers on there. I don't think it's super like a ton off, but I want to say they're like 49 bucks or something like that on Woot whenever they have them. Like, which is maybe $10 off, something like that. I got those Klein clamps in the mail from Klein too. I actually used 2 of them today. I like them. They got a couple nice features on them that some other ones don't have. I'll probably throw them in the mix of that tool haul video like I was talking about. I got quite a few things from Klein, but they're all mostly tools that are already out, been out for a little while. Why do y'all call it football? You use your hands, not your feet. For the kicker and the punter. It's all about the kicker and the punter some way. The whole game is based on the kicker and the punter. So many videos on those clamps. Yeah, I know it. That's why I wasn't in a big hurry. For one, I didn't see them for sale anywhere yet, which they are finally for sale. I think I saw them on maybe House of Tools, and also there's somewhere else. I might have saw them on Acme or something like that. Because I was going to wait until I knew that they were out before I even posted anything, anyways. And then, but I'm just going to put them probably in a tool haul video. They are pretty nice. Like I said, there's a couple features on it that's pretty nice. And I didn't know how much they cost yet, so that's a big decision into, are they worth buying? Well, I don't know, because I don't know how much they cost. You know, that's like if I got the Klein pliers wrench out and I didn't know how much it costs and I wanted to compare it to the Knipex. Well, I don't know, because I mean, if it's close to the same price, then yeah, but if it's half the price, that's a big difference, you know, that kind of thing. Just buy the wire strippers. They are amazing. I agree with them. Like, I'm not mad about spending that much money on my Knipex forged wire strippers. Like, and if something so happened, if I lost my pair today, I would go straight to Amazon and buy another pair today. Like, they are awesome in my opinion. And breaking free. You do a lot of cabinets. I'm assuming you do cabinet knobs and stuff like that too. I use my bolt cutters because even though it's a 832 and 632 hole, they're not, you don't thread the screw into the hole to cut them. They just slide in. So you can use a lot of your cabinet knob screws. I actually use mine to cut down a bunch of my cabinet knob screws. So you can also think of it in that way too. You'll have some cabinet screw, because they're usually metric or something like that, but they'll fit usually in that 832 hole, and you can cut your screws off if you need to. Do they make a Knipex stripper that can strip 10 gauge stranded? I don't think any of them, other than maybe that adjustable one that's the N type stripper. I don't think any of the ones like the forged wire strippers or anything like that, I don't think have it. You already sold me on them. I'm just going to pay the 59 bucks. Yeah, I got to thinking about the cabinet screw, like the drawer pulls and stuff like that screw. That's 100% what I use to cut all mine now is those. And then I knew you said you installed cabinets. Now, I will say that it does seem like, which I prefer the dip grip handles, but it does seem like for some reason my dip grip handles don't open as wide as my comfort grip handles. Not to the point where it's a big deal, like, but it's a little bit like for some reason that's only really for MC cable or something like that. Like for some reason they just don't feel like they open up the same amount as what my they do eventually open up the same amount, but it's like I have to do more work to get it to that point, if that makes sense. Mm-mm. I got so mad I was running my wire for my I'm putting 3 can lights across the front up in the porch. I keep calling it a porch. It's just an overhang. It's just a little bit bigger of an overhang. But so I got out there. I was like, well, I'm gonna go ahead and run my wire before I put that ceiling up, just because it'd be a little bit easier. I can obviously just fish it across there. It wouldn't be a big deal. But then I could staple it and do all that kind of stuff. But I had a mark on the last one. I had a mark on my I marked on my ceiling thing up there about where the lights were going to go, so I knew where to run the wire to. But apparently, I had a mark between the second light and the third light for some reason, marking something at some point in time. And I saw that, and that's where I cut my wire to, which I'm glad I caught it now and not, after I put the ceiling up. But I ended up cutting that piece about 5 foot too short. So I had to pull that back out and do it again. If you're cutting MC, use a lopper cable cutter rated for such. I've cut a ton of MC with my Knipex forged wire stripper, and they still just cut like butter. Like I was worried about it whenever I first got them because I'm like, technically, you're probably not supposed to really cut this stuff like the outside shell with this cutter based on what they say you're supposed to cut it with. But I was like, I'm gonna try it because that's what I'm gonna end up doing half the time, anyways, is using these because they're gonna be in my pouch. And I mean, I have cut a ton of it, and they still cut just like the day I bought them. Did you see my comment about the Spider number 2 Phillips bit on in here? Or I see maybe I'm trying to think. In here. No, I didn't see that up top. Now here we go. I've been running the Spider number 2 dry bit for a couple weeks now. I've been liking it. I've had some Spider drill bits, but I've not bought a lot of like their like bits, like driver bits. Their drill bits are really good. Like all the drill bits I've used of theirs have been pretty good. I can get the set of third hands with the square feet for 107. I think I'm going to get those too. So I've got, let's see, I think mine might both be in my truck. So I bought a set of 2, and then I bought they come with a small pad about like this, and then they also come with like a small thing that's got 4 magnets on it, and then another thing where you can kind of put that plastic on it. So like maybe you've seen what do they call them, zip walls. So like sometimes I've had to use them a few times where you basically put up a wall of plastic, but this allows you to put that plastic in there, put something else on there, and it kind of those magnets holds it as a wall, and then you can buy a zipper and put a zipper on that plastic and make yourself basically a plastic wall. So they call it a zip wall. Well, they sell a zip wall kit that's poles that does all that, but you can use the third hands for that. So it's kind of like 2 birds, 1 thing. So you get that out of it. But I also bought the pads that are about like this, that I think I bought a set of 2 of those. And you don't really have to have them, but I do like them. Like I usually put that on the floor, and then I use the regular size in my cabinet. And then I bought the tripod to use with my levels. So the tripod has been nice because you can take those and wedge them between the ceiling and the floor and then put your level on it like a 3-plane laser or whatever else. There's the L we got the laser in and the level. But you can do that. But sometimes if you're not careful, if it's a drywall ceiling especially, like you'll end up leaving like a scuff mark or something. So I tend to not like to use it like that unless I put like a microfiber cloth or something between it or something like that. So I bought the tripod and I use that whenever I'm using my laser. But the tripod with a third hand allows you to put your laser like super high. Like, so if you're doing upper cabinets, or you're doing some sort of a molding or something like that, you can get a whole lot more range out of that than maybe like a regular tripod or something like that. So no caption closed for deaf. Really, you are discriminating against deaf. I lost interest on your thing. Duh. I'm out. I couldn't tell you how to put captions on if I wanted to. And I'd tell you that I'm sorry, but then you wouldn't hear that I said I'm sorry. So I don't know how that would work. So, and I don't know how to sign I'm sorry. No captions on any live, Lance Anderson said. So there you go. I can't turn them on if I wanted to. And it's funny to me that it's like you're straight going to I'm a discrimination against the deaf, as if like I purposely chose on here to not have captions because I don't like deaf people. Like that's your go-to is a discrimination. Makes a lot of sense. Like there's people out there in the world that are really like, you know what I don't like is deaf people. So I purposely am not going to put captions on my stuff because deaf people. Was that a real sentence? Zip wall poles I got from Home Depot and online have a HD version rated for 300 pounds. Yeah, so YouTube is discriminating against deaf people. How dare they? It's funny the way people's minds go these days on victimhood. Mm-mm. So next week, I'm starting a job putting in windows and doors in a guy's sunroom-ish thing. He's wanting to change out all his windows and doors to a little bit better efficiency. I think the doors are in. I think that's all we're doing on Mondays, the doors. Getting the concrete poured tomorrow for my apron down there. And then the garage door will be here the 31st. I'm hoping that the garage door on the 31st will be like the end of the outside. I'm hoping I'm done with all my stuff by the time that gets here. Going to be close. Just depends on how much free time I have. Might be some little odd and end stuff. And then once I get the outside, the garage door is what I'm waiting on basically to be able to do anything in here because I don't want to create the openings from this building to the new spaces and the new building and all that kind of stuff until I've got that all, locked up. Because obviously, if I don't have a garage door on my other end down there and then I create a hole to get into here from there, well, then anybody can just come up in here anytime they want to. So for a 2-foot by 1-foot squarish attachment so you don't damage ceiling tiles. It has foam on it. you'll have an invasion of hummingbirds just waiting for me. Yeah, that would probably be the case too. I did finally get, like, we finished today. All the soffit's been up for a little while, the actual soffit pieces, but got all the fascia trim, like the metal, bent metal, and all that stuff. That's all done. I got it done today. So now there's no way for the birds to come in that way, at least. But I still got the big wide open garage door. So little Debbie in the study with the laser level. What's up, Christoph? 3Ls, we're done. Yeah, we got the laser level and the little Debbie's. That's the 3Ls. Have a 2025 penny ready for that concrete. Yeah, I was able to get rid of. I had a bunch of sticks of 20-foot rebar left over too. That I was like, I really don't want to keep up with these because I very rarely need any of that stuff. Which I would have cut it down into smaller pieces just to store wise. But then making that apron bigger, I decided, well, I'm just going to go ahead and, that way I can cut up all this stuff and use it in that too. So I'm able to get rid of that. Got rid of a lot of my wonky wood that was left over that I've been pulling in and out. I was able to use some of that on my porch overhang framing. And I'm going to go ahead and use, I was going to put vinyl soffit on that for the ceiling and that. But now I'm going to use the LP siding that I've been using and just paint it white and put it up there because I'm going to put in the wafer can lights, and I don't really like the way that those fit in vinyl soffit. Like, it always leaves those little holes in the ridges of the vinyl soffit, and you can just see like right up in there. And I don't like that because then wasp and everything else are going to get up in there. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and use that wood sill, and that way I've got more of a flatter surface. Don't need to hear about my wonky wood. There's wings and pizza. Denny O'Fools. This may be off topic, but the last month I've been hearing a lot of Makita ads on my local sports talk radio station. Yeah, nobody's ever pushing Makita much to me. Matt says his radio stations advertise Makita too. The only Makita advertisements I get are from Someway. He's always trying to push them down my throat. But according to Someway, I can't take any more Makita being pushed down my throat because I'm so fat. Can you say volt 5 times in a row? Volt, 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 volt. Oh. Anyone know of where to get the black handle Cobras from last year? Those were still on sale. The duotone ones or whatever. I saw those somewhere still for sale. Now the pliers wrench, I think, has been sold out anywhere that was selling them like a store. But I did see the duotone ones somewhere here recently, actually. I don't remember where it was. My 20-minute mud from Home Depot took a day to dry. I need 20-second mud. Yeah, the Home Depot mud's what I use. It usually works. I don't like any of the Lowe's drywall, like the Certainty brand of stuff. Like I don't like the drywall at all. It cuts weird. I don't like it. Like I'm a USG drywall person. I'm a USG drop ceiling person, like ceiling tiles, ceiling grid especially. I'm not an Armstrong person, so Home Depot sells all the stuff I like for drywall and grid ceiling. Lowe's sells the brands I don't care for as much. But I also normally buy them at, like, the drop ceiling stuff I get at a local place that sells metal studs, drywall, and drop ceiling stuff. Is that a Makita blue shirt? Any idea when the Milwaukee's releasing the Gen 2 M12? No. I'm wondering if they didn't come out with the M18 first. This is just my brain. But again, I know nothing. I'm not sponsored by Milwaukee. I don't even have a contact at Milwaukee. I don't know anybody at Milwaukee. I wonder if they come out with the M18 one first, because they knew if they came out with the M12, and most people are in both. Sometimes maybe they thought, well, people will buy the M12 one and then they won't buy the M18 one. So if we put the M18 one out there for a while, those who've been waiting for a new surge will go buy the M18 one, and then we'll give them the M12 if they really want. And I don't know. That would make sense as a business thing, in my opinion, if I was them, to sell more tools, but I don't know if that's really what's going on with it. Michael's got the pliers wrench, needs the cobras. I just saw him just the other day, and I can't remember where it was. I saw him. I don't remember if it was House of Tools or maybe it was Jersey Discount. I was searching around Jersey Discount Tool Company the other day, so maybe it was there. I saw him for sale at a store's website, but I can't remember which one it was. Keys needs those new twin grips. I haven't ordered them yet. I haven't decided, only because I got that didn't stop me on the pliers wrench and the cobras, but I also used them a lot more. I've got like 15 pairs of the 200 twin grips, I think. Took Milwaukee way too long to get the track saw. KC Tool had a pair of the cobras. I don't think it was there I saw them, but KC Tool has them, TPG said, because I don't think I've been to their website for a little while. Shows on House of Tools, but out of stock. That might have been where I saw them then, and I didn't pay any attention that they were out of stock, because I do go there pretty often just to see, because they usually sometimes get a lot of Klein stuff before everybody else. It'll say it's basically like their version of a pre-order, but they don't call it that. It says extended handling time may be required or something like that. But they usually are the first ones to kind of post them as for sale, which lets me see the price of stuff. That's the main reason, whether I buy them there or not, but at least lets me see the price. And they're usually typically like $5 more than everybody else, like the Acme tools and all that kind of stuff. But it's because they've got free shipping, so they kind of got it built into their price, I guess. So you can kind of figure, if House of Tools has something for $45, when it's available on Amazon, it's probably going to be $40, like $39.99 or something like that. Do you ever buy from the supply house? Occasionally. Like I go in, I don't buy a lot of tools there. I buy a lot of materials at supply houses, but not a lot of tools. Usually the tools are a lot more expensive at the supply houses than what they are at like Home Depot, Amazon, all that kind of stuff. But I do go there and buy like electrical supplies. Like I go to Rexel. There's a Rexel. I don't know if that's something that you guys have in your area. That's the one I like to go to. We've got a CED too, but I like Rexel better. I don't have a Platt or anything like that. And then L&W Supply is where I go for drywall, ceiling grid, ceiling tiles, metal studs, if you want to frame with metal studs. Because my home, maybe Lowe's might carry metal studs now, but I think they carry like, we usually only install 20 gauge. And I think the ones at Lowe's and Home Depot are like, 24, something like that. They're real thin, and 20 gauge is usually the minimum that we like to use when we're doing it. Fag Properties want a Roby 18-volt drill driver at Home Depot for pro days. I got a 6-foot ladder at Home Depot for pro days, so I think it was Werner 6-foot ladder. But I didn't necessarily win it, like a drawing. Like they did have a drawing. I don't think I won anything at that. I went in there the day that they were having lunch for everybody and ate lunch. And then that's when you filled out the raffle tickets and all that kind of stuff. And that day they were giving out, like every so often, I guess they were just giving ladders out to some people that came in. And the lady that I always check out with was actually giving it to Mr. Massey, who is the one helping me on my garage. And we work together quite a bit. And he's like, you can just give it to Joey. So they gave it to me. Border States priced my ET 450 circuit tracer $75 above Lowe's. Yeah, see, most of the time, any of the supply houses, tools wise, they're always been more. I've never found any place where they've been cheaper. Now, the only time I did get something super cheap at a supply house, and it was Ferguson, and this was a long time ago. I made a post about it. I might have even made a little short video. I don't remember what I did, but they had some pack out stuff. Like I got the pack out, the big old box that had the wheels on it, like that was flatter. You know, I can't remember what the name of that thing is, like the big toolbox, rolling toolbox or something like that, I think is what they called it. I got that. I sold that for like $200, and I paid like $200 altogether for that. I got maybe a couple pack out organizers. I think I got like a pack out hole saw set, a pack out carbide hole saw set, or maybe just a whole carbide. I got this set here. Let's see. Where's that? It's in this one here. Yeah, this set. This set alone was more expensive than what I paid for all of it. And then I ended up selling that one Milwaukee toolbox for. So basically, I got all that for free. So I got like this set right here, the Big Hog carbides. I got this, that big rolling toolbox, a couple organizers, and I think I got like a pack out hole saw set or something like that for $200 something. It was something crazy cheap. It was like an advertising flyer that I found, and they weren't going to give it to me because I don't buy that much stuff there at Ferguson. But so I called my buddy who's a plumber and said, hey, do you know if they acted like they didn't know anything about this? Do you have somebody that you can ask that's higher up or whatever? Because the person at the counter was just like, I don't know anything about that. And just kind of blew me off. So then he called them and they said, well, we'll give it to you at that price or whatever. So I had him order me a bunch of it. M18 surge released 2016, M12 2019, according to Google. That's probably maybe about right. I didn't own any Milwaukee stuff until I bought the Surge, and I think I bought it like in 2020, but it had already been out for a little while. My poor M12 Surge is as old as 2019-ish. I think I got mine in 2020. Tool chest. FW Web employees once told me that the tools are made differently for supply houses versus Home Depot. That was funny. Yeah, I don't believe that, but I've heard that the same thing with they say that about like even equipment and stuff like that too, water heaters and all that kind of stuff. Maybe it's the case, I don't know, but I don't know if that's just an advertising thing to get you to come there. Most of the time companies deal with supply houses more just because of there's that bigger range of I can go buy this stuff. And then they also do give discounts usually to people who are bigger buyers. So that's the biggest reason why certain companies go to supply houses. That's like even paint places. Like I've got a buddy who owns a paint company, and like he gets paint for like nothing. Like at Porter Paint or wherever, like they work out deals because he buys so much volume. Like he gets it for like a third of the price of what like I would pay for it type thing. So that's why a lot of companies end up dealing with supply houses. If you buy enough stuff, you can get pretty good deals. Their arbor is amazing. Yeah, they are. Water heaters are true. Keys says. I only buy water heaters from supply houses because of that. Home Depot sells actual garbage. Well, and then there's also the idea of it's going to be easier for someone who, like at a supply house, you've got more of a relationship usually. Like if you're somebody who goes in there again as a company and you buy in bulk and you're buying a lot of stuff all the time, they know you, they know how much you're spending in there, they know all those things. And then you've also usually got like this person that you talk to. So like whenever you have an issue, they're more likely to deal with it and fix it than some bigger, conglomerate type thing. Bradford White with the shaking rods last forever. So keys, that's why you're not the multi-million-dollar plumber though. You're buying these water heaters that last longer. See, you're a plumber. You're supposed to buy the ones where it's automatic service calls coming back to you in the next 6 months. I bought my water heater from Menards, $90 cheaper than the supply house. Same model number and brand. Bradford's the mainstream pick right now. Menards has pretty good deals on materials, and they've got a lot of materials. I bought all my siding and stuff there only because I could get the sizes that I wanted. I couldn't get them. I normally buy, like if I buy a bunch of stuff, I go to a local lumber yard. There's a guy that works there. He's who I get all my windows and doors from. Primarily mostly doors, because windows is only for my own self or somebody I know. I don't like putting in windows. I don't like working on them. But interior doors, like I get them from him all the time. And then like usually if I'm doing some bigger job where it's a lot of lumber and I don't want to go to the store and dig through and all that because it's just way too many, it's not even an option. You're just gonna have to dig through it while you use it. So like if I'm getting like 200 studs or something like that, I go through the lumber yard that's local. Somebody said, by the way, I haven't used the M word this entire stream. I have to go back and scroll up when I'm done here and see if that's true or not. I don't know if I believe you. If you have an old water heater, new ones are thicker and won't fit in your enclosure. Like, subscribe, and share. Appreciate that, Tool Collector. I think the last water heater, I normally call my plumber because he's always get me better deals. But I also don't, now that I'm in my own business, I don't even put in water heaters. Like I don't, it's not something I do. Now, back whenever I worked at the place I worked at, I put in my own water heaters and I changed them out and repaired them and did whatever. I'll repair somebody's water heater, but I usually don't do a whole change out because it's a permitted thing in the city that I work at. So I don't even offer it. And there's certain things, again, once you're your own business, especially again, I just work for myself. I'm my own thing. There's certain things that aren't worth what I'm going to make off doing it to make it worth doing, and the risk that's kind of involved with it. Like if somebody's got a water heater in their garage, maybe I'll change that one out because worst case scenario, something happens, there's water coming in your garage floor, rolling out your garage door. But I'm not changing out a water heater in somebody's attic and then, something fell on it or do whatever. It's not worth it to me for the money that I'll make on it. You can believe him. I think other people have used it, some prolifically. Y'all gonna get into the M words. It's gonna have to get off here. Actually, it's almost time to get off here, anyways. The Menards one was all brass fittings. Yeah, like I said, Menards has so much stuff, materials, and you don't even really, if you walk around just on the inside of the store, they got a ton of stuff inside the store. But what's crazy is when you go outside, like if you go out there to actually go pick up drywall and you start driving around and seeing the options that they have for LVLs, the options that they have for different sheathing and trim boards and decking. And I mean, it's crazy the amount of options that they have for stuff. So I'm glad we've got one just for that case, just because of materials. Well, just the other day, I was putting in that front door and it was a black PVC door, like all of it was 100% black PVC. And the trim wasn't going to match up to hit the J channel on the customer's existing vinyl siding. Well, if we didn't have a Menards, you're going to be out of luck. You're going to have to go get some other PVC, try to paint it black to make it match, or put in something else that's just black, painted, whatever. But Menards has black PVC brick mold. They've got black PVC boards. They've got, also I think they might have some gray, all sorts of options. Like none of that stuff is at any of the other stores. The closest that someway came was Max Stack. Their lumber seems to be better quality than other box stores. I don't think I bought any studs from them yet, but they can't be any worse than other stores. Now there's certain like Home Depot's 10-footers. This is my area. Could be totally different where you live. Home Depot's 10-footers are better than Lowe's 10-footers, but Lowe's 8-footers are better than Home Depot's 8-footers in the wood. Like if you're just getting 2x4 studs. And then the lumber yard I get them from, they're hit or miss. Like some of them are atrocious and some of them are okay. But the lumber yards oftentimes they're pricing like packages of whole houses and stuff like that. So if they go out and buy A-grade studs and they cost them, 5 cents more a stud, and then all these other lumber yards are buying B-grade studs and they're saving 5 cents a stud. Well, whenever somebody sends out their stuff to get their bid package for their house, this lumber yard's going to be cheaper than this one because of they've got less quality studs, and nobody's ever going to ask that question. Hey, what kind of studs do you have there? So most lumber yards don't stock like the highest quality studs for that purpose because they'll lose a bunch of bids because they'll be overpriced. Versus, whereas you can go in Home Depot or Lowe's and they usually have like that top or premium or whatever it is they call them, premium studs, and they also have the other versions. So most lumber yards don't carry the premium studs. Are you still getting a lot of submissions for Guess the Trade? I don't have a ton extra right now, but I've got quite a few that I haven't downloaded yet. I've got the emails and I haven't downloaded them yet. So I'm not sure how many I've got. I haven't had time to get them downloaded, but I think I've got like maybe, I don't have like dozens or anything like that. It's in the single digits, whatever I've got. Lowe's sells Vito bags cheaper than Vito does. I paid $300 for my Tic Pack. Lowe's had it for $275. Putting it on Marketplace this weekend. How much you think I can get? My Vito stuff is sold, like if it's in really good shape, I've sold it for pretty close to the whole value, like just a little bit off of it. It hadn't been anything crazy, but Facebook's been kind of a dead thing for the last probably 6 months or so for me. There's not been much people buying things on it. But I also haven't been like pushing hard to sell anything either. Try to cut down wrap adapter on a magnetic Vera. Not worth it. Now you can't remove the wrap adapter because of E600. But it's 8:03, so I guess I'm going to get off here. Go in there and check out this football game. See what the score is in there. See if Miss Maintenance has made me any popcorn. I'm sure she hasn't. She's probably waiting on me to come in there and make her some. I got to get in there and feed this fat guy according to Someway and Breaking Free. Got to get in there and make myself fatter. We'll see you, Roy. But we'll see y'all on Saturday in the Guess the Trade chat, unless I get in the zone of working on this garage, and then I might miss it. So we'll see. That's what happened to me last Saturday, but we'll see y'all hopefully Saturday.